And then initially this is in a passive position, so this is in the most retro position, so it's as far palatally as you possibly can take it. So that will then allow you to have just a small increase in the causal vertical dimension. And then there is a little tool, which is an Allen key, which is in the box somewhere. There we go. And the Allen key you use to actually turn, and it will bring it forwards. So it will actually bring forwards the hook. And then what we do is we just get them to bring it forward sort of like 2 turns a day, so that they feel that their mandible is being brought forwards like that into a position that they find comfortable.
And how far? All right, so just
yeah. So basically, you take it forward. So normally you would have put it forwards to something like that. But I find that that's not required. So we tend to just do it until they stop snoring, and then I try and get them to go back a tiny bit as well. So you can actually. So the great thing about this, you can actually trial it. You can actually bring it forwards a little bit, and they might go, "Oh no, it's a bit too sore on my muscles. Therefore, I'll take it back a little bit." So they've got the option to be able to sort of move it. So
will they have to wait it forever? Does it like train you to come into that position?
It depends on, classically, yes. If you want this to do this specific role, then you have to wear it
forever.
So the whole point of this is to change the tongue position on the back of the retropharynx or the oropharynx. So the way that the tongue sits back, by bringing the mandible forwards, you change the airway, you increase the lumen of the airway, and therefore you reduce the degree of snoring. So by this part, you can actually change your mandibular positioning and give you a big degree of flexibility, because obviously there's a balance between the muscular tone and the oropharyngeal area. So you bring it far enough forwards that you open the oropharynx, but without actually causing tension in the musculature itself. So a lot of the problems with the other ones is people won't accommodate to going so far forwards. And then because it's rigid on the outside, you get the actual retention component of it, but you get the comfort fitting and the ease of fitting because you've got the softer layer on the inside, so you don't have to fiddle about with the other bits. So you can just, if you pinch it, you feel like a softer layer on the inside. And it just gives you a bit of flexure to allow any sort of undercuts to be contacted. Okay, so get him to wear it initially just with the vertical dimension change.
How long for?
Just a week, just to get him used to wearing it for the vertical height, and then just get him to move the little hook forwards until.
Like every couple of days?
Yeah, every couple of days you can do 2 turns just to bring the mandible, but just give him a day or 2 to recover after each turn and get used to it. Some people leave it a little bit longer, some people do it less, and then I tend to sort of say, right, do 10 turns. And then come back and see me. Yeah, because you don't want to just keep him doing it indefinitely. You want to be able to stage it. And at 10 turns, if you think actually that's enough, you go fine. And then I'd normally get them to do it for a week or 2 at that position, and then take it back a stage and see whether that does any benefit. Because obviously the less you have to bring it forwards, then the better it is for the patient. Okay.